Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the third session of Let's Talk. My name is Damwena, and I hope everyone is having a great evening. I know that this session will be very informative and very useful. So, without further ado, let's get into the whole agenda. All right, so I'm sure everyone knows that March 8th, we celebrated International Women's Day, and that was one of the reasons for the song selection, Strength of a Woman by Shaggy. I know the date has passed, but I will take this opportunity to say Happy International Women's Day to every woman on the virtual platform this evening. We appreciate you and we celebrate you. So to all the women out there, I just want to say again, everyone that is on the platform, Happy International Women's Day. All right. So a woman, a strong woman, is one who feels deeply and loves fiercely. Her tears flow just as abundantly as her laughter. A strong woman is both soft and powerful. She is both practical and spiritual. A strong woman, in her essence, is a gift to the world. So once again, everyone, I say Happy International Women's Day. Miss Heather, I now hand over to you.
All right, thanks, Damwena. I believe my guests are on, and everybody on the team is on, and we do say welcome to you all. And we will be talking lots of things here. Damwena will be introducing that part of it. But as we speak now, I think Damwena has something to share with you, right, Damwena?
Yes, Miss Heather.
So we go right ahead.
Work and study programs, along with its partners, are having a blue package promotion. Attend internationally recognized institutions with a potential for permanent residence. Pay for information package video and commitment fee. Pay nothing down for the next 5 months. Get free career assessment, free application visa guidance, free immigration assessment, free accommodation seeking. Sign up on Rhizonn.com today or call 876-824-3396. Follow Rhizonn on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay, so is everyone hearing me? Damwena?
Yes, Miss Heather.
Okay, so I'm supposed to be speaking to you guys about this exciting adventure, because I believe it's a journey for all of us to be going to this place called Canada. As a citizen, I should say that I am happy that I can fly into 196 countries in the world without a visa, right? Just book my ticket, go online, book my ticket, and I'm off. And I'm sure all of you would want to have that opportunity, which I'm introducing to you. So this ad means a lot to me because when it was done, it was with you in mind, looking at the Jamaican perspective, you know, persons really wanting to go to a university or college in Canada and to make their name there in Canada. So my idea about this, and Renee knows, Damwena knows, Lejeune knows, they talk to me every day. And it is with that I, you know, look into the whole thing about permanent residence. You notice the ad had a big emphasis on permanent residence. I believe that families have been granted that status on my program, and we expect a lot more based on what I've done with all these free career assessment, as it says, everything free on the Jamaica side after you make a commitment. And Renee will talk more about that. But indeed, from my team, I must say that this is, you know, raking up a lot of, you know, persons out of the ground, I should say, and coming out and saying, I have a hard certificate. I didn't know that it was going to be carrying me anywhere but Jamaica. And I am the one that has come back from Jamaica, from Canada to Jamaica to say, guys, let's do it. And that's my word for all of us. to just get up and do it. Start somewhere. Call me, call Renee, call Lejane, call Damwena. We're all there for you. We want everybody to experience these deals. And I would say the whole thing about getting there and getting accommodation, we having you for the entire journey until you get your foot off the ground, and then you can be saying to me 5 years down the road, this is what I've achieved. Based on your career assessment, I would expect that you have achieved all three your top careers that you have indicated to me. So that is indeed a pleasure from my team as well. We do check these websites. We do believe that you are valued customers, and we want to have you all. I see Mrs. Althea Brown, guidance counselor for Manchester, and she's a big part of my journey as well. We will talk about that soon. And just to let you know that you are all valued, and we want to continue working with you. All right, so should I continue now, Damwena, into our start of the next segment?
Yes, Miss Heather, please do.
Okay, so let me start by saying this topic was not by coincidence when I chose the whole financing, because of the common questions, the frequently asked questions that have been coming up about how do I get to Canada? Is there going to be any money involved? And, I have to be telling people that, yes, I was going, it took me close to 3 years to make my move. It didn't just happen like I just got up today and said, I want to get to Canada, and I jumped on a plane. Oh, no. There was a lot of planning in it. And I knew it was going to be a very good adventure. And indeed, I must say that for my family as well, that, this decision that I've made, I'm actually encouraging you to make the same decision. And in essence, this is not just all about Canada. It is about making decisions, even in Jamaica, anywhere that you might go, there has to be a plan. There has to be a plan in place. And I am that person that would sit with you, with my team, to say, you know what? It's just going to be you coming to me to say, let's start. People have come to me with basically no subjects, right? And have made the move because they're made up their mind that they're going to be working with me to make this thing happen. So it's not all about, you going to Canada. It's just me connecting with you, making that touch, that feel of a different, exposure. A lot of people have not been exposed to supportive people. Right? You don't have that many times when you look around in the world. Not many people are going to sit down and talk to you at length about your career or your life, right? So when we do this for you, all the guidance counselors, around join me. When we work with students, I talk with them, daily, go through, their disappointments, struggles about students who really want to make the move. And I would really want to have some day when I can, give a scholarship here and there. We do bursaries too, right? So if you're really outstanding, these are some of the things that I really look out. I look out for these students who have made a difference in their community as well. Community service, as Mrs. Brown will tell you, and all the other guidance counselors that may be on this meeting now will tell you that goes a far way, right? So me getting our two guests from Sagicor was to say, let's do it together. We need support from all angles. I do give you relevant information in order to make a move in terms of advanced studies. So how do we do this? Now, the first thing I would say is that just picture yourself. I am a visual learner. So picture yourself sitting beside your phone or your laptop and hearing a bing. Somewhere along the line, an email came in, you check your inbox, and you're seeing an acceptance from a college. It came from a college or university. It could be Fanshawe, Mohawk, Humber, all the ones that I have on my website right now. I'm sure you guys are searching the view books. If you have not, we will send you to where you need to go on the website that has made all, we have made all these improvements for you to just lock yourselves into these universities and colleges that we deal with. So you get this email and you open it and it says, congratulations in big, bold letters. And you're like screaming, oh my God, going over the moon. You run to tell everybody, oh, I got into this, my favorite school. Then that whole situation starts changing when you start scrolling down the line or scrolling down your email and you're seeing the figures, the dollar signs, and you're like, oh my God, what is going on here? And that's where my two guests come in, because you're going to ask, how can I afford this? Where do I go with this? How do I tell my mom this? What is going to happen next? I mean, I want to go. Everybody wants the parents.
Miss Heather,
parents' perspective.
Miss Heather, you're breaking up, so you'd have to repeat what you said before.
Hello? Oh, I'm back?
You're
Yes,
back. Seems as if I got bounced off a little bit.
Repeat what you said in the last minute and a half.
Oh, that much. Okay, I think that my signal fell. So I was saying that the last part of it, that's where my guests come in when you say, when you scroll down and you see all those dollar signs bumping out of the email at you, and you have to make some kind of call to a parent to say, I got accepted. However, how am I going to afford this? What is going to happen now? This is, my future. Do you have the money? What is it that I need to do? Because the excitement, it would come, but at the end of the day, it's the how, right? And who can help you? And that's why I have provided relevant information for you by inviting my guests. And the first one, well, I don't know who will be talking first, but Dana Knight-Smith, welcome. Don't tell them how long we know each other, please.
Okay.
Hi, that one. And Monique Wilson is also here to share all that they have with us in terms of those questions that have been coming to me regarding how your finances talking first, but Dana Knight-Smith, welcome. Don't tell them how long we know each other, please.
Okay.
Hi, that one. And Monique Wilson is also here to share all that they have with us in terms of those questions that have been coming to me regarding how your finances, financing your education will actually happen or can happen. All right, thank you. Over to you. Dana, are you going first?
Okay. Monique, you want me to go first, or you want to go first?
No, that's fine. You can go. You can go ahead.
Okay. All right. Okay. Are you hearing me?
We are.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mrs. Stain, for this opportunity for us to partner with you as what's her name? Demoina. Okay. Dewayna said the strength of a woman, and Rhizonn, is being headed by a very what you call it.
You're muted. Uh-oh.
I am so happy today. I want to share my screen. Can you give me that option that I can share my screen?
Sure.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure if everyone online knows Sagicor Bank. Sagicor. So I am from Sagicor Bank, and Monique is from Sagicor Investment. That's the other arm of Sagicor Group. Okay, all right. Share. Just give me a minute.
Okay.
Okay, so we at Sagicor is always looking out for our clients and always want to be our bank, the bank of choice. And we have some different ways in which we can finance the child's education. We also have, I don't want to forget this part, we also have Sagicor Group Scholarship. Sagicor Group Scholarship, you know, where anyone can benefit from this. And one of the criteria is you have to be a member. Have to be a member of the Sagicor Bank. All right, hold on. I trying to admit. Do that for me. All right, while I'm speaking. All right, so we have some different types of loans that we can assist you. We have our unsecured loans and we have our mortgages. And when I say unsecured loans are loans that you don't have to use any security. You don't need any guarantor and you don't need any assets. All you have to be doing, you have to be working. So the minimum amount that you can use is 100, that you can get is 150, and the maximum is 5.5 million. I'm not sure what is the amount of your school fees, but I'm sure it may not go over 5.5. 5.5 is the maximum, but it all depends on your income. So we have to do an assessment. So although the maximum is 5.5, it all depends on your income, how long you're working, and your credit ratio. That means you would have operated your credit in a very exceptional way in order for you to be able to access it. All right? So our unsecured loans, it can be used for different purposes. Loans can be used for education, it can use for home improvement, and you can use it for debt consolidation. Okay, so these interest rates are variable interest rates. The time you get to pay these loans is 5 years. So you don't have to put any equity in it. You don't have to put anything in it. So if your child's education is $500,000, you get $500,000. So also we have a little compulsory savings that is added to this facility. This compulsory savings, you will be in an account, you can't touch it, none at all until you have paid off the loan. And the amount for the compulsory savings is $2,500. So while you are paying your loan, you're also saving. So to be qualified for this loan, you have to be at least 18 years old and you have to be working. So it's 18 years old and you must be employed. So the compulsory savings, as I said before, $2,500, and you must also be a resident of Jamaica. For repayment, we will have to do a salary deduction. So your employer will have to take out that amount and send it to us every month. And we also do a creditor life insurance where if you die during the loan, if you die during the loan, the insurance will cover it. So your relative or your friends don't have to worry about that. Don't have to worry about that. It will be covered. So your employment tenure, you have to be working for no less than 2 years continuously in the same field. So say for instance, you're working at the hospital, you're a nurse, and you're working at the Mandeville Hospital for 1 year, and then you change and you work at Hargreaves Hospital. If it would be in the same field, even though you would have break the employment, but you have been there for 2 years. That is what I mean by continuous. You must be working in the same field, even if you break it. So you must be either permanent or a contract worker. What we need a picture ID. What we mean by a picture ID, either your passport, your national ID, or your driver's license. These are the 3 acceptable ID. And your TRN card, your driver's license would have both, so we can use the driver's license for both the picture ID and the TRN. We need a proof of address of where you live. And the proof of address that we would use is like any bank statement, your light bill, any utility bill, or a justice of a peace can attest your address. We would need information on what you would need the money for. If you're borrowing over $1 million, we would need the invoice. That means we would need whatever information that you would get from the school to indicate what would be the tuition, if it is books, if it is accommodation, whatever you're going to be needing. If it's under $1 million, you would not need to provide any invoice or any documentation. But if it is over $1 million, you have to provide that. So we would also need your job letter to indicate how long you've been working there, how long, what's your income is like, and what's your position, and your last pay slip. If you're working weekly, we would need your last 4 pay slips. If you're working fortnightly, we would need your last 2 pay slips. If you're working monthly, we would need 1 pay slip. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example of how the payments would look like if you were borrowing an unsecured loan. All right, so if you're borrowing $500,000 for 5 years, so the monthly payment there is $13,233.04. And then you have also the compulsory saving aspect of it. So their total payment would be $15,733.04. So what would go to the loan would be $13,233.04. And then the $2,500 would go into a compulsory savings. And at the end of the 5 years, that amount of money will be yours. So if the maximum amount here is 5.5, 5 years, the total amount is $145,563.39, and the compulsory savings on that was $2,500. So your total payment is $148,063.39. So if you're borrowing $1 million, you can just multiply the $13,233.04 by 2. So if you just want to come up to say you're borrowing $1 million, how much it would be? You just multiply the $13,233.04 by 2. Okay, so other from the unsecured loan where you don't put any security, you can put up your house. You can use your house. So what we call mortgages. So we put a mortgage on your property for the total amount that you want to borrow. So what we call it is a home equity loan. The interest rate on this loan is 7.5%. And we finance up to 80% of whatever you of your tuition fee. And the time given to pay this is up to 35 years, but this also dependent on your age. So depending on your age, you would be, because say for instance, someone who is 35, they can get up to 35 years. If you're 40, you can get up to 30 years. So the amount is dependent on your age. All right. So apart from the unsecured loan, you can finance your tuition by a mortgage. We also have our credit cards, and our tagline is at best reward ever. So Sagicor has our credit cards. So when you go overseas, you're going to need a credit card. You're going to need a credit card. You're going to need a credit card. And we have different types of credit cards. We have different types of credit cards. We have the standard card, the platinum card, and the gold card. So these cards, you can get points. You can earn points. So the more you use this card, you can earn points. And these points can easily be redeemed. We have come up with a new way of doing how clients can access their points. All you have to do is to register your card, and you go online and you can redeem it and buy whatever groceries you have to buy. Okay, so you can get these cards, these points, and you can redeem them. You can get them cash back. What we mean by cash back, you can go back to your card. You can use it for travel, so you use it to buy your ticket, or electronic gift cards where you can buy online. You can shop online. And these points are valid up to 3 years. Okay, I'm not sure, based on the audience, we have our Sagicor Star Savers account. These, remember now, we are trying to save for our education. Education is a very expensive venture, and we, as Mrs. Stain attests to, you don't just get up one day and you just want to study without putting the proper what you call it now, the proper putting the proper structure in place. So we have these STAR accounts, where these accounts can be opened for minors between the age of 0 to 17. They're very easy to open.
Excuse me, sorry to step in, but the person who has a Galaxy phone, can you mute your mic, please? And I think someone is indicating that there's someone in.
I'm hearing that there are people that need to get in as well, Monique. But apparently the host went to Dana's and persons can't get in.
I'm admitting them now.
Okay, please, because we didn't want to stop you to say that. So good.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Because when I touch it, sometimes it comes off.
Yes, I realized something happened.
Yes. Yes. All right.
Just give them a minute or so to get in because they were texting me just to say they couldn't get in. All right. Thanks.
All right. All right. I think I got most persons in right now.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. So, all right. So as I was saying, so these accounts, the child can start savings even from the 0 to 17 years old for their education. So these are we have some Star Savers account, and all the child would need is their passport and birth certificate. For the adult on it, they would need their ID, their TRN, proof of address, proof of income. So what you'd use as proof of income is your job letter or your pay slip. And you need 2 references, verbal or written. You have to know the name, like for JP, Minister of Religion, MP, your doctor, your school principal, all of those can be used as references. So they don't have to be written. All you have to know, you know their names, you know their addresses, and you know their telephone numbers. And we will do the call to these persons. So you'll need your ID, TRN, proof of address, and proof of income. If the child doesn't have a passport, we would need a photo stamped by a JP. So if the child is over a certain age, we would need over 12, they need to have a passport. But if they're under that, we can get the passport size picture for them. All right, so this account, you only need $200 to open this account. $200. And also, the child can receive a debit card as early as 12 years old. At the age of 12, the child can get a debit card. What we call a debit card is a card that you can go to the ATM and you can withdraw money from it. You can use it at the store to buy anything, so that the child can get access to a debit card at that age. And they also get a complimentary savings bag when, that they can save money in when they do open this account. So a small amount they can start with, and it can grow. It might look small, but you can, every day a child gets money from whether grandma, sister, auntie, and they use, and when a child have all their money, they want to save it.
Right.
And so this account is very interesting for persons who would want to save. All right. And then there are persons who may not be qualified for a credit card, but would want to shop online. So we have this My Cash card. It's a My Cash card where it is used both internationally and local. So this My Cash card, you can transfer money locally instantly. You can top up and pay your bills. You can shop online, at home and abroad, and there's no sign-up fees. All you would have to do is to download the app, register, and upload the documents. It will tell you what to do. So you download the app. You go to the Play Store, and you download the app, My Cash, and then you register, and then it will tell you to upload. You upload your ID and your TRN. there are 3 different tiers. You have tier 1 and tier 2 and tier 3. So tier 1, all you need is your ID, your TRN, and the maximum that is available, the limit that you can have on this card is $100,000, but you can only spend only $25,000. The monthly fee on this is $100 plus GCT. And the cash load fee, what I mean by a cash load fee is when you put money on it. So each time you put money on it, it's for $55. So you have tier 2. This card, this one, you need your ID, your TRN, proof of income. And as I said, what we use as proof of income, your job letter and your pay slips. So if you want a limit for over 200 and above, you need your ID, TRN, and proof of income. If you want a limit of 100,000, you just need your ID and your TRN. You don't have to have your proof of income. So for this card, maximum limit is $200,000. The daily amount that you spend is $50,000, and the monthly fee is $100, and the loading fee is $55. And then the last one is the tier 3, which you're going to need your ID, your TRN, your proof of income, and your proof of address. So the maximum available limit is $300,000. What you can spend per day is $75,000, and then the monthly fees are the same. All right. So these 3 cards, you can use them. You can use it both locally and international. You can buy online with it for those persons, as I said, that would not be qualified for a credit card, because the minimum income that you should be earning for a credit card to access a credit card is $800,000. Your gross income should be no less than $800,000, which will matriculate to about $67,000 per month. And what I mean by gross is the amount that you would get before any tax come out of it. So that is what you have to be earning in order to get a credit card. So most persons sometimes the lower income may not be able to access a credit card, but you can get a My Cash card that you are able to buy online. And persons can send money to your card, or you can come into the bank to top up to your card. Okay? And then I'll go to our online banking. And our online banking, you can transfer money within Sagicor Bank. You can do wire transfer, you can do bill payments, you can open accounts, you can do manager's check through our online banking. Okay, so with our online banking, you do not have to there's no transaction amount. You can transfer any amount that you want to do it, and you can do it at any time. So if you wake up at 3 o'clock and you want to do a transaction, you can do it at any time with our online banking. All right, so some persons are scared with online banking because they're scared that persons will they will go into the system and pull out their account. What we have called a TAN code. So when you set up an online banking, your phone number is registered. So with your card or with their system. So each time that you make a transaction, you get a message on your phone. You get a message on your phone. So if you did not do that transaction, you would immediately call the call center to say that you did not make this transaction. With the TAN code now, if you're doing a transaction to anybody's account, you get a code, and this code, you'll get it to your phone. So if anybody hack into your system and they don't have your phone, they cannot complete the transaction because it's your phone that has you would have to access that code in order to complete that transaction. All right, this is how the screen is. You don't have to come inside the bank to sign up for the online banking. It's online, so you can go in and enter your data, and they will send the information to you. This is how the screen would look when you are signing into the system. Okay. So, Sagicor, we're always in your corner, trying to see how best we can help you. Everybody's circumstances are different. So sometimes, you know, I may have some clients who say, but she works the same place with me and she earns the same salary and she gets through and I don't get through. But as I said, everybody's circumstances are different. So this person may have a bad loan, the other person may not have a bad loan. So the other person will get through and the other person will not get through. All right, so my presentation is completed. I'm now here for questions. Damania?
Hi, Damina.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, all right. So I'm not sure how you're gonna do if they want to put the questions in the chat and you moderate it.
Okay.
Sure, no problem. Or for everyone,
or they raise hand,
raise your hand. Right. So you can either raise your hand if you want to speak verbally, or you can just type it in the chat. So you guys can start sending in the questions now.
If you don't want to type them, you can raise your hands. Everybody know how to raise hand?
Okay, there's a question that way now.
Okay, Angela Campbell.
Okay.
Good night.
Night.
I would like to know, what about those persons who doesn't have any ties, as we call it in Jamaica?
Any security?
Not employed, but needs a loan. How could you help such a person?
All right. If you're not working, we would not be able to assist. How we would be able to assist is by you getting a guarantor, because we need someone who is employed to be doing the payment.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
I believe Kimon has a question. She's saying, so what if the individual is not working and needs to borrow a loan to use for Rhizonn program business? Is the loan still eligible?
No, I think it's almost the same income in order to access a loan. That's one of the criteria. You have to be employed.
One question, Dana. So, well, I want to know for myself, like in terms of, let's say someone joint with somebody else, let's say a mother, father, auntie, or, you know, have the total that is being looked at in terms of income, would that be facilitated by your bank?
Yes, it will, because you have instances where one person's income cannot qualify them. So what they do is joint income for qualification. That is
acceptable. Okay, because a lot of people ask me if their mom isn't working, but they can find other persons who can support that loan. So thank you for answering that question. I hope everybody who has been asking would have got that answer. Thanks a lot.
Okay, I see Mr. Coley's hand up. Mr. Coley?
All right, so my question is this. Let's say, could you take out a loan if you're not in Jamaica? So what if you go to Canada and you're working? Would that suffice enough to take out a loan?
Yes. Yes, you can, but you need to join with somebody who is in Jamaica that would be able to be responsible, that we have contact with that person. So we use your income as the source of income.
Okay, but they would have to take it out in their name.
Additional with your name, you have to be added to the loan.
Oh, and that's the same procedure for any guarantor, whether here or over, or any country overseas then?
Yes, yes. If the guarantor is the one who is the source of income, yes.
All right.
In your question, so would you please feel free to open your mic and share? It's saying, did you say you paid for overseas education? Miss Althea Brown?
That's exactly what the question is saying. Can a person studying abroad get a loan from you? I might have missed it.
Yes, yes, they can get loan to do to study anywhere, internationally, locally, as long as it's been paid for.
That's all you guys interested in.
Exciting.
All right, so I'm seeing here where I'm seeing Michael. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing the person's name properly. Sorry about that. They're morely zoomed into the unsecured loans. They're basically asking for persons who plan to migrate, how will the repayment process go for the unsecured loans?
Okay, so the person who has taken the loan is the one migrating? I'm asking.
Yes, she said yes.
Or is it one migrating? Okay, so for that now, if you're migrating and you're the one that is qualified, your income is the one that you're the one studying, and
waiting for her reply. She said yes also.
Okay, all right. From time to time, I mean, we give loans for that. She would have to make some arrangement how the loan is going to be paid when she has migrated. If she is going to be migrated, is she going to be employed? So these are the things that we would have to do in our assessment, because we would not want the loan to go unrepaid. So she would have to be able to provide us with information that when she migrates, she's going to be able to get employment, or she has an employment already.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Coley?
All right, I have a next question. So you said that basically whether you get the loan will be a part of your decision is the credit check. So I have two questions. What does the credit check entails? And my follow-up question would be, what would happen if you have no credit score whatsoever?
All right, for the credit check, if you don't have any credit score, that's not a problem. But if you have a credit that you say, for instance, some persons, they have credit cards that do go bad, they have loans that do go bad, that doesn't say that we can't lend, because sometimes person's situation changes from time to time. There may be a reason why it went bad. They may have been sick, they may have lost their job, some different situations. So as I said, every situation is done on its own merit. So that's why I was saying some persons would have this situation and some would have situation. Some person might have a bad credit and it's just that they were deliberate. They don't want to pay it. And some, they have a bad credit, but because they fall upon hard times, they have medical expenses, different things that may happen that change people's situation.
All right. So my question now would be like, you say you check if you have credit card debts and loans and so forth. I'm guessing that's the only thing, or do you check for more?
On the credit bureaus, it has different loans, whether mortgages, credit cards, with different institutions. You have access, you have with courts, you have with all, because most of these institutions now are joining up with the credit bureau. You have, I think Flow and all of these utility persons are also joining up with the credit bureau.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Hi guys.
Hi, Monique.
Hi, I'm Monique Wilson. My presentation will be relatively short, and I'll attempt as best as possible to tie a lot of what I'm saying into what Danet has put on the table. For those just coming in, my name is Monique Wilson, and I'm the Business Development Advisor at Sagicor Investments. I deal with the investment part of things, all right? Okay, are you seeing my screen, everybody?
Yes, we are.
All right. Okay, so I tried to gear my presentation. There's a range of products at Sagicor Investments, but I just selected a handful of some to speak to you about. And the reason why I chose these in particular, with the exception of the education fund, all other ones can be used to collateralize a loan. So let us take, for example, before I go into the presentation, suppose, for example, you have a friend, a guarantor, who doesn't necessarily want to take the loan out. You may have an income, but you can get a cheaper loan rate on a secured loan than you can get on an unsecured loan. Mm-hmm. So if you know someone who has an investment, that person can choose to use the investment as a collateral for you to get a loan at a cheaper rate once it is that your income can manage the payment. Am I correct, Dennis?
She's muted.
Dennis, am I correct?
Yes, yes, you are.
All right. So different products allow you to get a higher percentage in terms of what amount you can access of the investment. So I kept the presentation down to those that would be more attractive and make the most sense for you guys. There is a saying that everybody here, because you must be interested in education in the first place, or you would not be a part of this presentation. The saying is by Andy McIntyre, and it says, if you think education is expensive, you should try ignorance. True. Now, before I go into the presentation, when I grew up rather poor, my dad is unable to read and write, and my mom's only job was a helper. And I knew from pretty early, even though my dad couldn't read, we never missed school. So every day with my brothers, 2 at one time, to school, we never missed school because he taught us that our only way out of poverty was education. And so we all went on to higher education. But it was despite the odds. And it was different times, and it didn't take the amount of money that it's taking now. So we have to put certain kind of things in place. Now, in Jamaica, there are a lot of sayings that we hear from time to time, and sometimes we butter eye to it, right? Sayings like, every mickle make a muckle, right? One cocoa full basket. And if you plan to fail, you fail to plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And all of those sayings are true. So when I'm introducing investments to you, you must have a timeline in terms of when it is that you intend to go away. You have all the information available right now. Mrs. Stain has told you how it can be done. Danet has told you how it can be funded. And I'm going to teach you how you can invest to help with your own education. A good education can be transformational for your future or your child's future. I'm speaking, assuming that there might be a few persons in here who are sitting in on behalf of their children. It sparks the mind and sets you on a path towards an incredible career. A good education is also surprisingly expensive, not so surprisingly. Rather than wait until you must pay for school, you need to start investing now. And I can tell you that investing also helps you to look better in the. Now, the funds I want to introduce to you are called the Sigma Global Funds. It's an investment that we pool together with other person's investment, and it is then professionally managed by us. Now, what the benefit of that is that regardless of what you are earning, you can invest in the Sigma Global funds. Most investments outside of these pool investments, if you don't have $10 million, which most of us don't have, we can't even look at it, right? What I like about the Sigma Global funds is that you can start with as little as 500 Jamaican dollar if you're doing it in Jamaican, or 50 US if you're doing it in US. And I must suggest to you that if you're going to Canada, even outside the loan that you're going to take to pay the tuition, you need to start be saving some US to handle some of your everyday expenses. I wouldn't even suggest you save Canadian, because when you convert the US, you get more Canadian, plus you get a higher interest rate on the US. So everybody who has plans to go to Canada, you need to start investing, especially in the US. So, within the Sigma funds, we have a range of different kind of funds. And the funds, of course, are geared towards different objectives and different risk exposure. And I'll soon tell you about the risk exposure later on. But today, I want to introduce to you 4 of the fund options that I believe can assist you or your child. The first one, which is obvious from the title, is called the Sigma Educator. Now, ideally, you would have wanted to start in the Sigma Educator before now, right? So if you have less than 5 years before you're ready for school, then it wouldn't make much sense for you. But if you're already planning, or you're planning for someone else, or you have a sibling coming up who might still want to go to Canada, then the Sigma Educator is a very good plan for you. As little as $2,500 a month in that particular plan. Now, there are certain benefits of it. One is that it gives you components. So you have a life insurance, you have an accident and emergency insurance that you get automatically when you have a Sigma Educator plan. But in addition to that, you get a grant that is payable to any university, whether locally or internationally. It's paid directly to the universities. Now, depending on which one the educator plan you choose, that grant can be as much as 20% of what you've invested to as high as 30% of what you invested. So that is a very good incentive to kind of save in the educator plan so that you can have something. And remember, the grant has nothing to do with what you're saving. You're going to end up get back the investment portion, but you're going to get this bonus money, as I like to call it. And the only requirement is that you must not touch the funds for that period of 5 years. This one is one of the investments that is available in Jamaican dollar and US dollar, and it's called a fund. Now, for this one, if you're doing Jamaican, the minimum is $500 a month, and the holding period on the money is 90 days. So once you're able to save more than 3 months, for more than 3 months consecutively, then this is an excellent product for you, and it can be used to collateralize a loan, right? So, for example, suppose you have somebody who is willing to give you some funds for investment. Once the funds are legitimate, they can give you, nothing wrong, illegal about a grant on choosing to get $2 million. And nothing is wrong if you choose, instead of using that $2 million to pay a tuition, you use it to secure a loan, so that after the loan don't pay, you still have it in Canada. Because let us admit it, most of us, if you go to Canada, they're not coming back. So you're going to need some money to deal with that transition after work. And I have a 14-year-old son, and whereas he could not have had couldn't have a conversation with you about which high school he was going, he knew from pretty early which school in Canada he's going to go to. So sooner or later, you'll have a new client. I
need to meet him one day.
Right? So he's already researched which universities does robotics engineering. He knows exactly, well, he wants to head to British Columbia. Planning. You must plan, and you must approach every aspect of your life strategically. Not US a month. I encourage all of you right now, once you are able to, then you need to come in urgently and open the principal protector fund in US dollars. Because even if you get a loan, chances are you may not qualify for the full loan amount that is required for all of your tuition. And so you will need something else outside of your loan to help and boost your investments, boost your expenses, to help and deal with some of those expenses. And in terms of the returns, the last return that was published was December 2020, and the Jamaican dollar fund had returned 12.8%, and the US dollar one had returned 5.7%. No, I need to point out that
Miss Wilson, I don't cut you. The principal protector fund. I want to know what the requirement you use to open it. Me could have probably opened it between tomorrow to Monday, so I want to know the requirement.
All right. So at the end of the presentation, I'll just go through, tell you what you need, and I'll also put it in the chat. That sound good?
Okay.
Right. So as I said, 5.7%. Mrs. Stain, you're in the international market. Is that a good rate on US? You see, she's not ahead, you know, here, but she's not ahead, right? That's an excellent rate on US currency. Because even in America, you have to put down your money for 30 years on something that is conservative to get 2%. So if you have an investment that is paying as much as 5.7%, and remember, with a pool investment, everybody investment gets the same amount of money. So we have people with hundreds of in that 5.7% return. So it's excellent opportunities. And as I said, even with a loan, you're going to need to have funds to deal with other expenses that are related to working and studying abroad. We have another one called the Sigma income that's very similar to the Jamaican dollar and US dollar. I heard someone in Dane's presentation asked about whether or not a pensioner, for example, can invest. Now, women have been having children older. My mom personally had me at 40 years old. So by the time I was ready or in college at 20, 21 years old, my mom was already a retiree. You know what I mean? So sometimes you might have persons who have gotten a lump sum through pension. They don't want to eat through all of that lump sum because they're not working anymore, but they still want to support you in your education. They could choose to use that lump sum and put into an investment like the Sigma Income Fund, because the Sigma Income Fund is conservative and it is designed to pay you an income. So the individual would still be, even if the individual is using their money to secure your loan, they can still get money because they can still access the interest. It doesn't stop them from accessing the interest that is made on the investment. So if you know somebody who has some lump sum, they're living off it, all it's going to be is that they're going to put it in an investment that was actually last year the best performing income fund in the entire Jamaica. Not only that, this particular fund is the oldest one of its kind in the English-speaking Caribbean. And in the unit trust market, meaning all institutions that offer unit trust in Jamaica, Sagicor Sigma funds account for almost 60% of that entire market. So it's not like I'm telling you about a substandard product, right? And once more, like the principal protector, 500 Jamaican if you're doing it in Jamaican, 50 US a month if you're doing it in US. And after 5 years, it becomes tax if you choose to leave it for 5 years, because there's no penalty for touching it at month 4. Okay. You understand? Now, in 2020, the Jamaican dollar fund returned 13% and the US fund returned 6%. Those are excellent performances, especially with COVID, where the entire economy was really at a crunch. And then last, and I have to mention this one because I realize that we have a ton load of young persons in this group, is our Sigma Equity Fund. Now, if you are very close to going to school, then this is not the fund for you. So let me put that as a disclaimer. Okay. But I still want to talk to you about it because I believe that all young persons should have some form of investment in stocks. Now, is there any group who don't know anything about stocks? Just respond in the chat so I can see you. I'm trying to find the chat room. I can't find it.
No, just
right. So, okay. so let me see. Just say if you're not familiar with stocks, just type no. If you're not familiar with it, just type no in the chat so I can see how many persons are not familiar with stocks.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
So most persons aren't. All right. I want you to stop now. I want to type yes or no to this question. How many persons think stocks sound very complicated? Yes, if you think it sounds complicated. No, if you think it's not complicated.
Okay.
I cannot people. No, everybody else. Suppose I tell you, you don't mind talking a little patois? Suppose I tell you that we only use big word in banking and investment because we want to sound brighter than everybody else. They ain't not say nothing. Right? Suppose I tell you that we only use big words. So when you turn on the news and you hear people talking about bear market and bull market. Me never see no bear in Jamaica yet. And when me see bull, me run. Right? So we only say it to sound fancy. I'm going to break down stocks for you, and I'm going to call somebody's name and you're going to respond to me. Romaine. I'm seeing Romaine, Romayne. Romaine, if you go into a supermarket to buy a tin of corned beef, which brand are you going to buy? Waiting on the answer, Romaine. I want to hear your voice. Me not reading. I want to hear your voice. Come, Romaine, answer.
I would buy Grace.
All right, don't come off, don't mute it yet. So Romaine said he would buy Grace. Why would you buy Grace, Romaine?
Because what I used to.
Okay, and that's a perfectly good answer. Is there anybody in the group who would buy a different brand apart from Grace?
Lasco.
Lasco. Why, Miss Althea?
Cheaper.
Good answer. And then I could ask people like Mrs. Payne, where boss says she not bully beef. It's against her moral. She doesn't eat processed meat. She's nice and slim, and she prefer go to the butcher and get a pound of the short rib or something else.
Wow.
Right? So Mrs. Tain don't buy bully beef at all. No, can any of us tell Mrs. Tain that she's wrong?
Bully
Can
beef.
also tell
What is good about bully beef?
Can also tell Romaine that he's wrong and right answer. Now, when you approach the stock market, you approach it like you're buying at a supermarket. There are individuals who will be more appealed by the stocks like the Grace Kennedy, because for them, what is important is the brand reputation. It's a brand that they trust. It's a brand that they know. In this case, it's a company that they trust. And it's a company that they know. So when they go on the stock market, because everybody drink cran water or anything else like that, them well, probably Wisconsin is not a good one for this group, or Jamaica broilers, we might choose to buy a company because when we see the name of that company, we know it and we trust it like a Romaine. Romaine, me nah knock your Grace girl too. Right? Or we might be like, Althea, we want to buy the Lasco. No, mind you, Lasco is still a more reputable brand. Jamal said New Pack. New Pack is a newer brand. But Lasco and Eve, for example, are more reputable brands.
Kendall,
which one?
Kendall.
Kendall coconut milk. Kendall coconut milk powder make Grace look like they're not right. And this is from a loyal Grace person. But we not discuss food, we don't know. Don't me man. So Althea said she would have bought Lasco. Now for Althea, her decision is that Lasco is still a reputable brand, but for her, price has also factored into her decision. So whereas for Romaine, it's not a price issue, because if it was a price issue, he would never buy Grace, right? For Althea, even though quality is important, it is all that she is saving. So in that case, whereas Romaine would go on the stock market and buy into a Grace Kennedy, or buy into a NCB or a Sagicor, Althea would probably go and buy into a Wisynco, because Wisynco isn't where Grace is yet, but you still know them good products and they're on their way up, right? So her decision making is different. Then Mrs. Stain might go on the stock market and she says she not buy no Supreme Ventures because her God will not allow her to support no gambling company. Or she might say she not buy no Carreras because she have bonfire upon her head. So she might have made a decision not to buy into Carreras as a company or Supreme Venture based on her own sense of belief. So it doesn't matter if the company has a good reputation. It doesn't matter if the price of the company is cheap. She's not buying it because like I buy Carreras for my clients, but I don't own Carreras, and nor will I ever buy the stock because I don't like smoking, right? So for me, that's a moral decision. Carreras is one of the best stocks on the exchange. So my decision has nothing to do with that. Now that I kind of bridge the gap as to the fact that you are already equipped to choose a company that appeals to you, that you make money off stocks. Now, simple. Let us say that Rhizonn decides that they want to list on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, and that's probably something we need to explore in the future, Mrs. Steen. We're speaking
Yeah,
to
for
the
sure.
team, right? Let us say they want to list on the stock exchange. What it means is that Mrs. Steen has decided that her company wants to expand their business to Bahamas, to Barbados, well, they probably this already, all over the world, right? But it's going to take her 5 million Jamaican dollars to do it. Now, when we look on Rhizonn's book, Rhizonn is still a growing company. So let us say that Rhizonn does not qualify for that. She can go to the bank to borrow the 5 million, and the bank might say to her, do master, we're not giving nothing. And them go UE and you take an NCU. So they might give you a reason not to give you the loan, or they might say they're giving you the loan, but they're not giving her the full 5 million.
Okay.
So when you borrow from a bank, you're borrowing privately. Now, when Mrs. Steen can do the opposite and decide, okay, I'm going to list on the stock exchange. Now, the same way she go to the bank and she tell you how well her company has been doing, what she plans to do, and how much money she's going to need to do it, and why she thinks this is going to be a profitable venture. Remember, she just tell the bank all of that, you know. It's the same way she's going to come and tell me, Altia and Jamaya, Angela and Kimberly, and everybody else exactly what she's going to do. Now, if you and I believe what she's saying, we might decide to lend her the money. Now, so what she's now doing is borrowing from the public borrowing. So that is how she becomes a stock. When a company borrows from the public, they become a stock. No, we decide to find we're gonna lend her the money because we like her. She's full of vibes, and we believe in our shadow, and we say we're woman power. So we're gonna lend her.
We're gonna deal with it.
Right. So let us say, for example, that any one of you guys have $100, right? So that man is say, Miss, my uncle have $1,000. But one of the stock is for $1. Once who ready for university. If one of the stock is for $1 and the man have $1,000, how many stocks the man is going to get?
1,000.
Who that? Who are whisper like they not sure?
No, not me. Sorry.
Let your name and know the answer.
1,000.
1,000.
Oh, we have bright people in here, money.
Because they can't make it to Canada. Right? So $1,000 and the price of the units is $1. It means they're going to get 1,000 units. Now, as long as you haven't sold any of those shares or units in the company, as long as you live, we will always have how many units? One, say it with me, man. Take off from the mic. I talk, we talk. 1,000.
Yeah, units. Yes.
But no, the company at the time that Mrs. Stainborough was worth 10 million. No, Rhizonn bust out and big. She not better have Sagicor present job. So why can't pass on stage? We enter TED Talk to come give grand presentation, and the whole of in here, on can't go Rhizonn again because on have to pay just one entry fee alone of 50,000 Canadian. Rhizonn big and bust way. So the company that 10 million is now valued $1 billion Canadian dollars or $1 billion US dollars. So it means that the share that you had in the company that was now worth $1, would it be worth the same or now worth more?
No.
Tell me, it worth more. Worth more.
No.
So that is how you make money on stock. So if that dollar company, maybe you have 1,000 units, is now worth $10, you now have how many units? How much would your units be worth? $10,000. That is how stocks work. When you buy into a company, you're not buying into the value that it is today, you're buying into the value that you hope it will be tomorrow. And because you're buying into the value that you hope it will be tomorrow, and money cannot see the future, it means that money is no more equipped than you to make a decision as to what stocks to buy. You understand? No, for the Sigma fund, if you don't want to buy individual company, the Sigma Equity Fund, remember I said it's a pool investment. You can buy into this investment. Yes, the money were rich, right? We can buy into this investment, and in this investment, it is made up primarily of blue chip companies. Now, when we talk about blue chip, we're talking about the big gun then. We're talking about the Kingston Wharf and the Berger Paint, and the one that we're going to live all when we have a great grandchildren, them dead and pass. They will still be around. So we're looking at companies that have been around a long time and have been stable. Now, when you buy into these funds, it is going to do well. Now, the reason I say if you're not going to be investing for a long time, you shouldn't be buying this. Is because the nature of stocks can go up and down. You follow this? So the same way the dollar stock can go to 10,000, it could have go to 80 cents. But as long as you own it, and you can wait and not sell it, most of the time it will do this, it will go back up. So if it up and down, but it'll do this up and down and I go up and go, not true, right? But that is why you want a long-term investment. So like COVID mashed up the place and the companies never had no money, so it never did well last year. But if you were in it 2019, you make over 28% on the money. If you had bought some of the stocks last year, 200, 300% to make in a 3 month. So if you hold on to what you buy, you believe in the company you buy, then this is also a very good option. And I could not do the presentation without encouraging you guys, even though it's not for your education, to try and open a stock brokerage account. You must open a stock brokerage account, because unless you own stocks in this world, you're not gonna make no money. Ask Jeff Bezos will own Amazon, a stocks in buy. Right? So I want you guys to start buying some stocks. Now, before I close off, I want to address the question Kimon asked earlier about what is required. Now, what is required by investments is the same thing that's required by bank, because it's a legislation that tells us what we need to get from you. So you're going to need one valid ID. And by valid ID, we do accept the voter's ID, even though the expiration date on it says 2017, because the government has done to use it. So as long as you have a voter's ID, if you have the voter's ID, it can use as your proof of ID. If the back of the voter's ID address is where you're still living, then we can use that to verify your address. So the voter's ID can serve to verify your address, and it can serve to verify your ID. You can come with a passport. You can't work Canada and you not have passport, right? So the better have passport. If you don't have a passport or a voter's ID, come with the driver's license. Now, as Dana mentioned, the driver's license also verifies your TRN. But if you don't have a driver's license, obviously you would need to take the TRN card in with the ID, right? So you need an ID. Either voter's ID, passport, or driver's license. You need a TRN that can either be your driver's license or the TRN card. You also need to have a proof of income. Now, this doesn't mean that a lot of young persons have an open account with us. I realize you said that the guidance counselor for Manchester High School is in on the meeting with us. And 2 of my former clients that were in sixth form 2 years ago was able to pay for their first year of UA. They went to UA. First year tuition, they parents have to put $1 because these kids have been buying stocks from them in a second. My son, you can't give him present. He want birthday because he might buy stock from them 8, 9-year-old. So he was those kids, the 2 kids that left Manchester sixth form were able to pay for their first year tuition. So don't sit on investments, people, please. Right? No, if you're young and you're not working and you don't have no proof of income, go on the account with your mother or your father will have one. Because once one person on the account have an income, we go. All right, so you need a proof of an income, either a job letter, a letter from the JP, or the last pay slip. And then the names of 2 references. The names, and then it had listed.
Right.
And once more, I'm going to put my number in the, so that if you want to ask me any more questions after this, then you're free to do so. And I can guide you a little bit more, because investment still has to be tailored, meaning that not everything that I say will suit everybody. Thank you guys. That's it from me. Thanks again, Mrs. Stain, for having us.
Wow. Thank you, Monique.
Yeah.
Thank you. We'll do the vote of thanks soon.
Hi guys, good night. I'm Renee. I am Miss Heather Thames' assistant here at Rhizonn. So I'm the one that always texting you guys, calling you guys, checking up, stuff like that. Right, so I'm here tonight to introduce you to our Mega Blue package, right? This is where you pay the commitment fee of $160 US. Here, you pay that commitment fee, then we provide you with 5 months free services from us, where you'll get guidance throughout the program with the career assessment, the application and study visa guidance, immigration assessment, and accommodation seeking. Now, when that 5 months is up, you start paying the monthly subscription fee of $49.99, right? For most persons who sign up, you normally receive an email with a link at the top. The email comes from Heather Thane, So there's a link at the top which takes you to a page providing you with the banking information to purchase our information video package, and it also provides you with the documents needed to start the process, which is your resume, transcript, academic records, and your passport, right? So once you pay the commitment fee, guys, you immediately start the process. Miss Heather and we don't hesitate on getting persons started because we know you guys need the push and everything like that. So Miss Heather and we motivate you to go through. We know sometimes it does get difficult, we always find a way out because we know how it is here. So we give you the push and everything like that. So yeah, once you pay the 160, you get 5 months free services. Then you start paying the monthly subscription fee of $49.99. So think of it as this: if you don't add any credit to your phone, you don't get any service, right? So yeah. So guys, you can feel free to call me, text me for more information. Don't hesitate. Sign up on Rhizonn.com. We're on Facebook, Instagram. Yeah. Bye.
Oh, one second, Renee, and remind them that we see people using the Calendly, which is a calendar or online calendar to book appointments. We have added that segment, and we must say it is a success because people are going ahead and using self-serve or self-serve services, which means you just go right ahead, book your appointment, and we will get in touch with you to confirm that everything is going well. So those who haven't been checking your emails, we are asking you to check, and we have made some improvements, and I think Renee can add to that because she has gone on the site to see the improvements I made over a week, right, Renee? Can you tell them some of the improvements you have made? That's what Rhizonn is for. We do make great improvements every week.
Yes, we definitely do. So in regards to the email that Ms. Heather is referring to, it's the email that you receive after signing up, right? So the adjustments made are we added colleges, which is Fanshawe, Mohawk, and other various colleges in Canada. But if it's a case where you have a college in mind, you can also let us know. You can apply through us as well, right? There are the links. The links are at the top of the images. So it's going to say, click here to learn more about the Canada study visa process. To book your appointment, click below. Study in Canada, September 2021 to January 2022. Click here. Click on the flag to view books from colleges. So it's giving you a grasp of what to look for, how the process goes, and stuff like that. So it's very much clear on how or what to do, rather, right? So yeah. And the calendar that Miss is talking about, the link is also in the email. So you just choose a day, a time, and you let me know whether online or in person, and then we'll go from there. So the process starts immediately after you pay your commitment fee, guys. So it's all dependent on you. And Miss Heather and I are here to guide you 100%.